Exclusive prediction. Where will Victoria Mboko and Alexandra Eala rank by 2026? Glowing star insights from a former U.S. Open quarterfinalist. Former U.S. Open quarterfinalist predicts where Victoria Mboko and Alexandra Eala could be ranked in 2026. The WTA Tour has proved extremely competitive, and that has been highlighted by Victoria Mboko and Alexandra Eala rising through the ranks. Mboko finished the year by winning a title in Hong Kong, and that went alongside the Canadian Open title she claimed against the odds in August. Predictions have been made about Mboko and where she might be ranked by the time the end of 2026 comes around. Steve Johnson believes Mboko might already be capable of challenging for Grand Slam titles, and she's finished the year in 18th spot on the list of world rankings. Eala has been on the tour for a couple of years longer than Mboko, and now a claim has been made about both players as 2025 draws to a close. Nick Monroe predicts where Victoria Mboko will rank in 2026, with Elena Rybakina stunning Aryna Sabalenka to win the WTA Finals. Talk on the latest Inside In podcast turned to the next players to break into the top 10. Monroe was a brilliant doubles player during his time and reached Grand Slam quarterfinals at the French Open and the U.S. Open. He was the latest guest on the show, and he believes that Mboko is the one to keep an eye on, but also had some kind words for Eala too. Monroe said, "I'm looking at Victoria Mboko and Alexandra Eala. I think those two players are exciting. I think Mboko, especially, because of her firepower, right? I feel like normally, we saw her make that run at a 1,000, and she was able to handle that moment very well, right? I feel like her firepower and Eala as well. She did well in Miami. They have to come into their own. But those two players are the next two I think will break into the top 10, possibly next year." Mboko can thrive with a higher world ranking. Mboko will get automatic entry to all of the Grand Slam and 1,000 events next year, and that can only bode well for the Canadian as she looks to progress further in 2026. The 19-year-old has had some really good victories in 2025, and considering it's her first year on the WTA Tour, it's remarkable that she's managed to win a 1,000 event. Monroe is right to think she could be the next player to break into the top 10 and emulate Rybakina, who ultimately came from outside the elite to win the WTA Finals. Having the luxury of automatic entry to the big tournaments can only bode well, and with a stronger chance of an easier run to the business stages, it might not be long before Mboko really makes waves. When I think back to my own run to the U.S. Open quarterfinals, I remember the mixture of hunger and self-belief that carried me through. I was young, bold, and convinced I could beat anyone on any given day. Watching Victoria Mboko and Alexandra Eala today, I feel a vivid echo of that same fire, and I believe the next year could be transformational for both. Let me lay out why, where they stand now, how they're improving, and where I forecast them to be by the end of 2026, in rankings, in impact, and in legacy. Part 1. The present foundation's Victoria Mboko, the Canadian powerhouse. Victoria Mboko, just 18, born August 26, 2006, has exploded onto the WTA scene in 2025. She began the year outside the top 300, ranked around number 333. Yet by November she is number 18, having broken into the top 20 for the first time. Tennis.com +2 Women's Tennis Association +2. Her rise has not been incremental. In March 2025, she won her 5th ITF title, making it 6 finals in just 6 events. M.ITFTennis.com by August, she claimed her first WTA 1000 title at the Canadian Open in Montreal. Tennis.com in that run, she defeated 4 Grand Slam champions, Sofia Kenin, Coco Gauff, Elena Rybakina, and Naomi Osaka, an almost surreal accomplishment for someone so young. Tennis.com +1. Her end-of-season momentum continued in Hong Kong, where she won her 2nd WTA title, coming through a grueling, nearly 3-hour final. Wikipedia under the guidance of coach Natalie Tauziat, Mboko's game is becoming increasingly mature. Powerful baseline strokes, an imposing first serve, and growing composure in big moments. Kale now +1. That said, despite her meteoric rise, she is still very young, with much to learn, especially about consistency, physical endurance, and Grand Slam performance. Alexandra Eala, trailblazer from the Philippines. Alexandra Eala, 20 years old in 2025, is charting her own extraordinary path. Earlier in the season, she made a breakthrough at the Miami Open, reaching the semifinals as a wild card. Wikipedia +2 Rappler +2 along the way. She defeated 3 Grand Slam champions, including Iga Swiatek, Madison Keys, and Yelena Ostapenko. Rappler that run rocketed her ranking from outside the top 140 to inside the top 75 in one swoop. Rappler +2 Tennis 365 +2. Later in 2025, she won her first WTA 125 title at the Guadalajara 125 Open, the first Filipino to do so. Wikipedia, and by November she cracked the top 50, becoming the first Filipina ever to reach that milestone in the WTA rankings. Tennis.com +1. She also reached her first WTA Tour level final at Eastbourne, showing that she can handle not just big matches, but big stages. Women's Tennis Association +1. Her style is intelligent and guile-filled. As a left-hander trained at the Rafa Nadal Academy, she mixes counterpunching with well-timed aggression, constantly reminding me of the smartest shotmakers I've faced in my own career. If Mboko's rise is about power and raw explosiveness, Eala's is about poise, tactical maturity, and defying expectations. Part 2. Challenges ahead. To predict where they could be in 2026, I need to acknowledge the headwinds. Mboko's potential pitfalls. Consistency at major events. While she's delivered in big moments on tour, like Montreal, Grand Slams are a different beast. She must translate her WTA-level success into deep runs at slams. Injury risk. Incredibly rapid ascents often come with physical tolls. As she plays more high-level matches, managing her body will be crucial. Mental pressure. Expectations will skyrocket. Maintaining composure under pressure, especially as one of the breakout stars, will be a test. Eala's roadblocks. Depth of tour. The WTA is deep. While her run in Miami was stunning, she needs to show regularity at WTA 500, 1,000 level tournaments. Points to defend. As she accumulates more ranking points, she'll have more to defend, which adds pressure to perform consistently. Limited resources/support. Coming from a country without a huge tennis infrastructure, she may face limitations in coaching, travel, and sponsorship, though her 2025 success will help greatly. Part 3. My 2026 projection. Assuming both players stay healthy, continue improving, and maintain their hunger, here's where I, as a former U.S. Open quarterfinalist, predict they could be by the end of 2026. Victoria Mboko, projected 2026. Year-end WTA ranking, top 10. I'm projecting Mboko to break into the top 10, potentially finishing between number 6 and number 9. Rationale. Her power game and big match temperament already set her apart. With 2 WTA titles already, including a 1,000, she's shown she can win high-stakes events. If she adds a few more tournament wins, goes deep in a Grand Slam or 2, say, a QF or SF, and plays a full